That is crazy.
Seriously, that's the coolest thing ever.
Todd and Erin, Morning Stream, GetBartDaily.com. We're going to show you more, but believe it or not, those could be aliens. We're going to show you at the end of the show exactly what the heck that is. All I can say is, how cool did that look?
I know, right?
At night, diving into a stadium.
I know, and the buzzing of everybody.
And being an alien.
And not dying as you landed, which is good.
4 stories coming up. Park City gets shaken up.
Ben Shapiro's pissing everybody off, so that's good. That'll be great for all of us.
What's your birth plan?
Oh, and the officer. Do you remember the officer in that sex harassment case? I mean, in the nurse case where he arrested the nurse? Oh, there's more.
There is.
There's more.
We're going to find out.
All right, well, let's start, of course.
I'm so happy that Park City survived.
Let's go to the morning mountain camp. Look how dark it is. Remember the good old days when it was like nice and bright in summer?
That's shooting towards Park City.
And I had to turn on the heat today in the car. It was very sad. That's brought to you by Black Diamond Experts, Electric, Plumbing, Heating, and Air. Now, tell me about this earthquake in Park City. They were hysterical.
Feel it?
Well, they were hysterical in Los Angeles because they just had a 3.6, but this was like a 3.3,
well,
right?
What about Idaho with the swarm?
How many have they had now?
206 or something crazy at last count. It was crazy. So this is a 3.3. No plastic patio chairs were harmed. I just want to let you know that because it was really mild. And this is the funny thing. One of the representatives, Keith Coper, director of the University of Utah Seismograph Station, said that's okay. There's only a 5% chance a large earthquake would follow.
Oh, that's good.
Well, wait.
Where do we live again? Oh, that's right on top of the fault. Right on top of the fault.
You live on the benches.
Right, literally right on top of the fault.
You might want to think of earthquake insurance or a bunker. A really thick bunker.
At this point, I think a bunker is probably going to be a little bit more helpful, but okay, that's good. Ben Shapiro, now, have you heard about him?
Sort of. He's a Fox News commentator or something.
Yeah.
He's going to where?
Conservative commentator. He has some very harsh views on women and
he's crazy.
And choice and body and a lot of things like that, but quite virulent as a matter of fact. But nonetheless, he's an articulate man, and he's been crisscrossing the country, going to various college campuses. He was just down at UC Berkeley, pissing off everybody. And there were thousands of protesters who came out. Black Lives Matter said that we're also going to do a major protest on the UofU campus. He emboldens hate speech on campus. He encourages negative stereotypes of people of color. It's pretty interesting, but Ben was invited by one of the conservative groups up at the U.
Right.
Since they knew there was going to be a big backlash, they actually sent security down to UC Berkeley to go, okay, how are you guys handling all the protests?
It pretty much wraps up with, shh, he's talking.
So I was just reading some of his stuff on Twitter yesterday, and he's pretty much what
you'd some specific issues about women that are disturbing.
He calls it campus thuggery when people disagree with him, and I'm like, that's going to keep happening, guys. So you might have to just accept it.
The university said, we want to hear all voices, and I wonder if how big the demonstrations will be.
Well, he pretty much gloated over the UC Berkeley one, and he called them all, and I quote, braying jackasses, which is probably not the best way to get a lot of support. But, if it's working for Ben. In any case, he is speaking this week. I guess my biggest push with this is that UC Berkeley was actually saying, we are going to boycott Free Speech Week to protest this kind of conservative. And I'm
Say it again?
The liberal portion of campus was, which is pretty much 99% of UC Berkeley, we're going to boycott Free Speech Week at school because you're having Ben Shapiro come in. I'm like, okay, do you see any kind of inherent discrepancy in here in your message?
Right.
Even if you do not agree with them, unless he is actually advocating hate speech, it's kind of the same thing you and I have on our Facebook page. We'll let people pretty much say anything as long as they're not utilizing hate speech or being abusive to each other. Right. And we've seen some really vigorous arguments go back and forth. But
we have this thing
unless he's actually giving hate speech, you have to let him talk.
Well, this is how it works at our house sometimes. We'll say something on Facebook and more of a question and not like a pointed, angry thing. And then we'll get up and go make dinner. And by the time we get back, there's a friggin' melee going on, and we have to step in and go, okay, people.
We're like,
we're all friends. Let's take it down. Let's improve your argument, not the loudness of your voice and your typing.
And some of the words. Some of the words are good.
Wow.
In any case, he's speaking at the Behavioral Science Building up at the University of Utah. That's September 27th. It is free, but you have to get tickets. So you can start picking those up on September 23rd if you Want to see the melee?
Now
Which it will.
It is now Tuesday. And Tuesday means free roasted corn.
Now, I was not expecting this level of participation.
I have it right here.
Okay.
I have yours right here. Now, Tuesday, free corn where?
Kuahara Farmers Market. This is the only 7 days a week farmers market here in along the Wasatch Front.
Just
it's in Sandy, 8565 South State Street. We've been there both
Say it
Tuesdays.
slower.
8565 South State Street in Sandy. We go every Tuesday, and basically they roast corn. They start slamming butter on
What's
it.
up?
It's our last week this week.
No, it is.
So, yeah, corn is getting out of season.
Corn's getting out of season.
This is your last week, and they pick it this morning and then race it down, so it's going to be
Ogden.
sublime. This is your last chance.
All right, so we went online, and I just said, because that's always a regret of mine. I didn't eat enough corn, and now I'm having stomach issues, so I can't. And now the summer's
Don't worry,
almost
I'm going to
over.
get some for you. I mean, you can't eat any of it, but I'll be eating it.
Oh,
The
you're
kids and I will be eating it for you.
So kind with salt and butter. So we simply asked the question. This is so weird. Hundreds of responses. What do you put on your corn?
Hundreds and
Okay.
hundreds of
I'm
responses.
handing this to you, but it's all the best ones. Here.
You're so noble. You have some too. Oh, butter and Parmesan cheese. That's from Sheena. Mm-hmm. Mayonnaise. That's from
very-
Dennis Lindstrom. And
very-
cayenne pepper.
Very Mexico-ish.
I boil mine in water, milk, and sugar.
I've seen that.
Really? I've never seen that before.
Yeah.
Mayo, Parmesan cheese, and chili powder. Butter, garlic, and jalapeno.
Right.
Velveeta, and then roll it in bacon bits. That's from Billy Bill's.
Cilantro lime butter. It was good. Cilantro with lime with butter.
That actually sounds delicious.
Doesn't it?
Now, but the one we got hooked on is when my sister Julie taught English down in Mexico.
Oh
And she came back from Merida, and they put cream cheese on their roasted corn and then cayenne.
Oh.
Damn her.
So it's like rich
So
and
now we're
creamy, and
all
your
obsessed.
lips are on fire.
It was amazing.
My Erica cilantro lime butter, bacon butter. This is my niece.
Bacon butter.
Well, she's crazy anyway.
Oh, we have
Bacon
this-
butter.
Stephanie,
which
you go,
means
girl.
she makes bacon butter.
Well, Steph works in a restaurant. I mean, she understands cooking, so she must have a creative vision there.
Here's my favorite one.
Mm-hmm.
What do you put on your corn? Daisy. Here, our loving Daisy says, my face.
Well, there you go.
So,
Clear enough.
free corn day.
This is pretty funny.
I
Donald
seriously
Trump.
want you to get some.
The corn?
Yeah.
I will.
2 dozen.
You can't have any of it, but I'll get it.
I'll be cured soon.
Sure you will, kitten. I'm there for you. I know you will be.
All right.
Probably one day.
Tell me about this, the Oxfam, who are famous for doing great things.
Well, hand me that. If you've noticed that they've had, given all of the struggles that we've been having with refugee issues in the country and, the current administration's kind of stance, and there's been a lot of stuff going back and forth in lawsuits. And Oxfam decided the simplest way to do this would be to rent Donald Trump's childhood home.
Oh, no.
It's in New Jersey. It's a fairly simple Tudorish style house. They rented it and they've been housing refugees there. And they used it but what they've been doing I thought was really beautiful. They've got refugees from Syria, Somalia, Vietnam.
That's cool.
And what they've been doing is bringing them there, and then they've been recording their stories. Because one of the most
Like
powerful...
oral history.
Yeah, one of the most powerful things you can do to understand what these people go through is to hear
Right.
their story of what they had to escape.
And usually, by the time people have that idea, you've got people who are 95 years old, and maybe not. They did it with a lot of the Jews.
After World War
World
II
War
and
II.
the concentration camps.
But it was like so many years later. It's like there were certain details that were gone, and so this is like preemptive.
Yeah, this is really powerful
They could
because
be
you're
like
getting
30 years old.
you're getting the stories from the refugees as they have come over. And
Right.
Todd and I, our boys used to go to Lady of Lourdes, it's a Catholic school, and Catholic Family Services would bring in a lot of refugees, and so we got to hear the experiences of a lot of the kids that came from Somalia.
Holy
And
mackerel.
almost every family lost somebody to murder or other, assault, and to hear those stories were really rough, but it was really important to hear them and bear witness to what had happened. So they're going to be Oxfam's putting all of these stories out on tape so you can watch them. But
can really change your attitude about what they've been through.
it's just amazing to me.
Yeah.
It's absolutely amazing. And the stories that also redeems your faith, I think, in mankind, because so many of them have that one pivotal moment where they might have been lost utterly or sent back or something terrible has happened to one member, and then somebody steps in where they don't expect it and saves them. So hearing the stories it's tough.
It
It's
is.
tough, but it's also really beautiful. It's
Now,
cool.
we're going to get information, but coming up after news, we are Hollywood East. Did you know that?
We always have been, but we're even more so now because they're doing better tax credits. We got a lot of people.
All right, Daisy's time.
All right, Daisy's in the Gephardt Daily Newsroom. She's brought to you by Fink and McGregor Mortgages Made Simple. If you go to fink-mcgregor.com, there's like a 4-minute quiz. Take it, and it spits out all these different mortgage options for you, and you'll get a phone call back within the next business day. Also by All Utah Plumbing, Heating and Air. This is the time of year something in your house needs tweaking, and fortunately, John and his crew is ready to do it. allutahplumbing.com. Good morning, my dearest Daisy. How are you?
Hello everyone, I'm good. Thank you, Erin. I hope you're good too as well today. Here's what's making headlines Tuesday, September 19th on GephartDaily.com. A 6-month-old Bluffdale, Utah boy has been killed in a Lake Powell area boating accident. It happened Sunday afternoon when a boat carrying 13 people attempted to dock on a Navajo Canyon beach. Investigators say when the boat hit the beach, an adult fell on the child, resulting in severe head trauma. The 6-month-old was flown to Primary Children's Hospital in Salt Lake City, where he passed away early Monday morning. The Salt Lake County District Attorney's Office is seeking the death penalty in the case of a Utah inmate charged with stabbing and kicking another prisoner to death. 32-year-old Ramon Luis Rivera is charged with aggravated murder in the March 14, 2016 stabbing death of Jeffrey Ray Vigil. The brutal attack was captured on surveillance videos. Rivera stabbed and kicked Vigil more than 70 times. Rivera later told prison authorities that the attack was motivated by, quote, gang shit, unquote. Interior Secretary Ryan Zinke is recommending Utah Bears Ears and Grand Staircase Escalante National Monuments be reduced in size. That's according to a leaked memo from Zinke to Donald Trump. In all, Zinke recommends reducing the size of 6 of the 27 national monuments he looked at after Trump took power. Governor Gary Herbert aggressively supported the size reduction at Bears Ears, costing Utah its lucrative multi-million-dollar contract with the Outdoor Retailers Show. And now a look at Wasatch Front weather, where we're continuing to see major changes in the forecast. Tuesday's high temperature will only reach the upper 60s, and it'll be even colder by the end of the week. You can expect plenty of rain in the next couple of days as well. And I know you can hear the smile in my voice at that news. That's it for now. For more local headlines 24/7, go to GephartDaily.com. And Todd and Erin, back to you.
All right, we should thank you, by the way, because yesterday another child went missing, one who is nonverbal with autism, and we put it up online, asked you to share, and holy mackerel, did you share?
Thank you so much.
And he was found.
Once again, he was found. He was from Murray. He was found clear up in Farmington, but thanks to you, he was found.
Right.
So thank you for sharing these stories, and thank you for alerting all of your
Yeah.
neighbors and everybody keeping an eye out. Especially when you have a child who is nonverbal, it's terrifying because they're desperately trying to communicate one way or another. But if they can't verbalize what's happened to them, then it really takes a lot of time and patience. So thank you for people who understood that and help these kids out.
Another mention to Marianne on Facebook, evidently needs some mental help because she loves the forecast. She needs some
Marianne,
counseling.
what's wrong with you? Why? Why would you like it
Thank you,
cold?
Marianne.
You know, it's interesting. We were talking about some of the stuff that they were shooting in Utah, and every one of us has seen movies where we're like, yeah, that's totally Utah. I mean, everything from our personal favorite, Galaxy Quest, where they shot the whole miners colony in southern Utah.
Hobbitville? No, what's it down by Lake Powell?
Goblin Valley?
Yeah, Goblin.
That has nothing to do with Hobbitville. How could you possibly...
Goblins and hobbits.
They don't have anything alike.
Hobbits have bigger feet. Goblins are goblins. Do you remember back when, though? Like, what was the name of the movie that it was like all of a sudden you said, oh, they're making movies here. Not The Strain. What was the one where there was...
That was a huge... no, that was... you're thinking of the Stand from Stephen
Stand.
King, and that was the big miniseries. They shot it at my Second Avenue house, remember?
Yeah, I remember.
But it
and
was...
you're like, oh, I'm making movies in Utah. Because it's so pretty. A lot of Westerns were made in southern Utah, hence all the cancer and John Wayne's death. But because of the buttes and all the coolness, they made it back in the 40s. Stop it. And now it's a new thing because of tax incentives.
And as it should be. But this
And
makes
talented people.
And it makes it very handy for us. They actually say they like shooting in Utah because everyone's really patient, and most people are pretty nice about the fact that you've blocked off their entire street, and people are a lot more chill. Yellowstone, this is actually pretty cool. It's from Taylor Sheridan, Oscar-nominated director, and it's a big series that's, I guess, going to debut this winter. The series follows the Dutton family, who control the largest contiguous ranch in the country, and this is actually Kevin Costner's project.
Oh, really?
So it's going to be a big one. Andy Mack, this is from the Disney Channel. They've shot 3 different series here. God bless them, because every time it's like $15 million for the States.
What was the one they did at East High?
The High School Musical.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was cool.
Yeah. It made a lot of money.
So the question is,
For
how
at
do
least
they
them.
get these?
What do you mean?
Well-
We just offer better tax incentives and more
Right.
availability than anybody else.
Plus, they also say that we have great production teams. We have all the equipment. We're ready to go, and they're like semi-trailers full of equipment and
Yeah,
stuff
Utah
like
Film
that.
Commission is really good. I'm really sad, though. The one that I missed out on, my talent agency, TMG, sent me a notice for the zombie series, and I was so excited. I was beside myself. I was like, I could totally do this one. That would be so... And I missed the audition.
TMG sounds like some kind of infection of a part of a body. Or that jaw thing where you clench at night.
You know, that's my agency, right?
I know, but it's
The one that gives us extra income because I go and do work with them.
I love it when my jaw hurts in the morning because I clench.
Okay, this one obviously is the coolest. Westworld Season 2, massive Emmy nominations from HBO. And it's really cool. They're actually building, they do all of, there's most of the principal photography down in southern Utah, but they're actually building a brand new Paramount ranch. Paramount, the gigantic, movie studio. They're building a new Paramount ranch in central Utah, and it's going to be like a $27 billion, gazillion dollar project.
Right.
But then they're going to be shooting a ton of other stuff there too. But I thought that was really cool.
In southern Utah, there's actually abandoned filming spots that they left the buildings up.
I know, it's cool.
In the facades of the buildings.
Claire Niederprum, who did Once I Was a Beehive, is doing a modern day version of Little Women. That's going to be kind of cool. Leah Thompson plays the family matriarch. And then the horror movie Behind You is now shooting in Utah County. This is from Matthew Weedham, who's Joss Whedon's brother. Tells the story of 2 sisters who find themselves in the home of their estranged aunt and discover a dark
Don't ruin
purpose
it.
for the plans to advance their evil plans.
Of course, there's an evil plan.
Well, of course, you got 2 innocent girls. It'll be great.
Hey, thank you so
Behind
much for watching and listening. I'm not saying goodbye right now. It just sounded like I was. Christopher Steakhouse. We just want to tell you. And look at this. I'll make the noise for you. Wait for it. Wait for it.
Okay.
Tell them why we're thanking them.
Well, we're thanking you because you guys stuck with us here on the morning stream when we made the jump from radio, and it has been so much fun. We love being able to talk to you on YouTube and on Facebook, and it's really fun to hear what you guys are doing
Okay,
every
wait.
day.
It's my turn. Hang on. Hang on. They
You're
put it on the
drooling, aren't
plate.
you? I know.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Yeah. Oh, Sandy says Canaba's a little Hollywood. She said, come down, they'll show you all the Western movie sets they have down there.
Let's finish with the steak, please.
I know. Moving on, the important thing is this. So we're sending you to Christopher's Prime Steakhouse, which is utterly glorious. And with you and 3 friends, you could have a great time, sit and relax, eat, drink, enjoy yourself. And it's just a big fat thank you. So the way you enter is on any one of our Facebook pages. While we're talking about this is the time you say, I'd like to go to Christopher's. And we will pick somebody who has mentioned this. You can go to the Gephardt Daily Facebook page, Gephardt Approved, or you can go to the Todd and Erin Facebook page. And then every Friday, we pick another winner.
All right, coming up next, the people at Oreo Cookies have lost their minds. That's next.
Again. Todd and Erin's Morning Stream, brought to you by Black Diamond Experts. Electric, plumbing, heating, and air conditioning. You'll be glad you called an expert. Fink and McGregor, mortgages made simple. Make sure you go to fink-mcgregor.com and try out their 4-minute mortgage program. It's incredibly easy to find out whether you qualify. The Todd and Erin Morning Stream is actually available anytime at GephardtDaily.com. Just click on the Todd and Erin page. Last day.
Free corn day. Where's
The
the
last day
address?
of the corn. It's Kuahara Kuahara Farmers Market. It's open 7 days a week. It is at 8565 South State Street in Sandy on the east side.
Time for Tell Me Something Good, and the governor steps in for veterans.
This was really cool. If you've never heard of the Utah Honor Flight, and you probably have, this basically takes veterans back to Washington, D.C., where they can go and they can visit the memorial. World War II, it's an incredibly emotional time for these men and women, and they get a chance to be flown back. They get to talk to other veterans and share their stories and go through the experience.
Right.
And they get to trace the name. It's very emotional to watch it. They trace the names with their fingers of the men and women they had fought with and served with in the war.
Right.
And you watch it, and it's incredible to them. And this year, it looked like the Honor Flight was in some serious trouble. They just couldn't get the funding. It wasn't doing as well.
And you have to remember, a lot of these people are coming with nurses and caregivers because of their age. I mean, they're getting up there, and so with all the support they need, it really eats up a lot of the money.
Oh, and Utah Honor Flight Chairman Mike Turner said, "Our funds were depleted, and I hate telling a veteran, no, sir, I can't take you this year. We have no money." Oh, my heart crushes. So the Governor's Gala decided, Governor Gary Herbert announced that they were going to, instead of doing their usual brouhaha, he said, we're going to raise money. So they raised $40,000 at the event to go to the Utah Honor Flight.
What kind of event? A gala.
A Governor's Gala.
Or is it gala? Gala. Yeah.
When we emceed it, it was gala, I think.
Right.
So we'll go with gala. But I thought that was really cool, A, of Governor Herbert, and B, the fact that these men and women can go back. So
is true.
in case that's something that interests you, you can go online to a Utah Honor Flight, and you can take a look at it if that's something you'd like to volunteer with.
Cookie butter.
I don't get this.
Cookie butter. Now, first of all, I think it's brilliant that Oreo cookies can take a brand where it's like you make Oreo cookies and that's all you make and you never change it and that's all you're going to do.
It was the chocolate cookie with the vanilla center.
And someone came up with the idea years ago and saying, what if we do specialty ones for the holidays? And most companies would kill the person who came up with that. But instead, what they did is they kept the Oreo cookies over here, and they threw out these cool things that are only at selected stores, by the way.
They're not that cool. They're creepy. I mean, there's some like,
Some
for instance,
are.
All right, candy corn. Zoe loved candy corn. There's the cookie butter, and that's coming out today.
What about cookie? Oh, there's a candy
corn. They also had some really weird ones. They had there was the Peeps one, which I thought was unnatural and troubling.
Oh.
And apparently tasted very much like Peeps. Now the cookie butter was fairly new to me. I know that Trader Joe's has had it for a long time.
I don't know what it is.
It's crushed up cookies made into a butter, and then you dip more cookies into the butter of the cookies made into butter.
So what you're telling me is this is like taking hamburger and dipping it into hamburger.
Yes. Except for much tastier and in a little tiny bite-sized pouch.
And you get to goo. Okay.
I'm going to try to run down today to Target and find this because I think we should try this out on Daisy tomorrow.
Good idea. Are there only certain places?
I know it's limited edition,
there are.
but Target's the only place I know that's carrying it. But they're always limited edition. So, oh, by the way, if you have a nomination for the terrifying pumpkin spice taste-off that we're going to be doing in a couple of weeks with some of Utah's local celebrities, please throw it in. This is all the pumpkin spice crap that comes out this time of year. If there's one in particular you want to try it out, do let us know.
All right, and we should say that when one of these specialty Oreos came out, remember we got the thing on Facebook, and what the lady did, she didn't have enough money because her friend called and she goes, "Hey, if you're down, get me like some of the Oreos."
The caramel M&Ms.
And I want
it was the caramel M&Ms.
And I want like 10 packs of it. The lady didn't have enough money. They were selling off the shelf, so she grabbed 10 of them. She took them down to the feminine hygiene aisle and hid them behind one of the bags of pads, and then pushed it back in place. Upside down, and so she gave the clue to her friend where she could find them.
The only trouble is Cindy put it up on Facebook, and I went, they're going to be gone by the time she can get there.
Seriously.
I would have gone if I'd had time to go and steal them first.
Brilliant.
Wasn't it? I know, right?
I think it's brilliant.
Yeah, they describe it as rich cookie buttered flavored cream filling between the tempting taste of two lightly sweet graham wafers.
Now, can you tell me about this next thing? What is your birth plan? And first of all, should I go through ours? Should I go through our birth plan? Okay.
Our birth was nothing like the baby story on TLC at all.
I'll break it down for you. 6:15, Regional Hospital, South Temple, we were going to go down and have a C-section.
Have some twins.
With scheduled with twins. And then suddenly they found out my wife here, Erin, the drama queen that she is, had water on the heart, and the
large pericardial
the
sac.
person who puts her to sleep for this said, I can't touch her. She needs to go to a level 5. Emergency C-section at 2 a.m. and then unconscious in the ICU for 4 days. And me being the smelliest person in the hospital. That was not a plan.
They propped you against the wall of the operating room and said, you're going to pass out. You went, no, pay attention
Don't worry
to my
about
wife.
me. Holy crap. So what are we talking about?
So anyway,
obviously something gorgeous and easy.
Well, no, it's sad because we had a little birth plan where we had just like wanted my sisters and my mom to be able to see the kids first, and it wasn't a big plan, but just a few little things.
Yeah.
Oh no! When Katie King's first child was born, they didn't even have the iPhone yet. Well, they just had their 5th child on Labor Day. They let their parents let their parents and siblings know about the birth before announcing it on Facebook. Then spoke via FaceTime with her mom. Drank Labor Aid. Had a candlelit celebration meal.
Labor Aid.
The Timpanogos Regional Hospital does this. They do all these different drinks, flavored drinks for the moms. But it's funny. I mean, now that remember, it was a big deal when fathers were finally allowed to be in the delivery room.
Back when?
Which just seems reasonable. Well, that was usually during the like 70s. But before then, men weren't really allowed or encouraged to be there.
They sit out in the lobby smoking cigarettes talking about football.
Well, it's interesting. They want to be able to access Netflix, the hospital administrators say. They want Wi-Fi. They want to be able to pinpoint where they're at and tell everybody what hospital they're at. They call it birth customization now instead of birth plan, which I think is funny. It's like
because they have active lifestyles.
Essential oils, adjusting lighting. But it's funny. She said, Becky Barrett's the director of the Women's Services and Intermountain Healthcare. She said, I remember when in 26 years ago, the standardized process was to give every laboring mom an admission enema and shave. She said, that's all the customization you got. I'm like, that's inspiring.
That's full service.
Yeah, I guess so. But it's funny, she's seen rooms now packed with as many as 24 people coming in for the delivery, including one which was an entire sports team and one who had 20 family members with them. I would have been really unhappy if you had done that to me.
Sports team?
Unless they were directly involved in the conception, I'm not sure why they were there, but it's really funny. They have requests like to bring the placenta home to plant under a tree. They have flavored ice chips, rotating menu of slushies, custom flavored sodas. It's interesting. They have the importance of the baby's first Facebook post now. This is crucial. You can't just have any, hey, we had a baby, my wife's really tired. It's not like that at all. No. There has to be social media recommendations now, and it has to be presented in a certain way. They said they've seen a pile of new professional photographers coming in, like, boom, like the second the kid is born. I'm like, I wasn't attractive then. I don't want you taking any pictures at that moment, except for maybe one for my husband snapping a picture on the phone, but that's it.
What happened to the old-fashioned screaming and swearing?
Oh,
Where has that gone?
That's probably still in there. But it's just, I didn't get any flavored slushies. There was none of those fancy
make me
things.
feel bad. That's because you were out cold.
I was unconscious for 4 days.
Anesthesia.
Yeah. So that kind of knocked our birth plan right out the window, didn't it?
My favorite comic, which is Jim Gaffigan, he's had 5 kids, and he's had them all in his 2-bedroom apartment. He's pretty famous now, and they have delivered all 5 kids in his apartment.
A 2-bedroom New York City apartment.
And when he tells people about this, they said, oh, that's nice, but we just wanted our kids to live. Which is very funny.
No, there's some people who can do it, and I have mad respect for them, but it's like, no, I'd rather have a professional attending me. I'm not that good. My sisters both probably could have done it at home. They were like that, especially Julie.
I have so many things to say, but I won't right now.
I want to be in the hospital where the doctors are.
Speaking of hospitals, remember the nurse at the University of Utah was trying to defend the rights and stand up for the way they did things about taking blood from an unconscious person and was arrested by this gentleman.
Well, this is Detective Jeff Payne, and Internal Affairs investigations by Salt Lake City Police also just found out that he harassed a department employee in a severe and persistent way. This is sexual harassment. In 2013.
And he was
several incidences of unwanted physical contact, disparaging emails when she rejected his advances. Mm-hmm. And the thing that's interesting to me, though, is that that's something that at most companies would get you fired. Like at most of the places we've worked at.
HR would call you in and they have some paperwork in front of them and you're gone.
Yeah, the physical contact stuff and the mean emails, that would pretty much end it.
Except for us.
Well, we're adorable.
Ooh, yeah.
Plus, we're allowed to sexually harass each other.
Because we're married.
And there's pretty much nothing our department and directors can do about it.
Nope.
So that's good. But yeah, really charming. Vehicle chase complaint from Utah Highway Patrol. He got a 2-week suspension without pay. He violated the police code of ethics, I guess, in the middle of that investigation. But can we go back to the nurse's picture for just 1 second? Once again, this is Alex Wubbles, who I adore. And she's an amazing woman. She stood up for herself. She's done a great job about speaking sense.
Pinning her arm behind her back and lifting it.
But this is what kills me. If you take a look at her, she's a very pretty woman and very nice. And for the rest of her life, this is going to be the picture people remember of her.
That's the one.
It is so profoundly unfair that you've achieved this level of attention and people will listen to what she has to say, which is great. But for the rest of her life, every news show she's ever on, whatever she's doing, that will be the hideous picture that is shown of her.
Okay.
And for that crime, sir, I denigrate you more than anything else you have done.
Okay, you're going
just for that.
Going to the gallows. Okay.
He deserves it after that.
All
A
right.
crappy picture like that.
All right. So
So anyway, this all goes back to say that for Detective Jeff Payne, who is, I believe, on leave with pay, this is not the first time. He's been a creep.
coming up next, this is interesting. Storm Maria is on its way. It's in
Hurricane Maria, Class 5 again.
Holy crap, and there's another one behind it. Interesting, though, is that the people from Sandy, the superstorm Sandy, are giving advice to Houston and Florida about what they're about to experience with the government helping them out.
That's
with
really
FEMA.
smart.
All right, it's coming up next.
We're brought to you this morning by Executive Transportation. Elegant service, professional style. Go to executiveutah.com. And All Utah Plumbing. Your home deserves the best. 24-hour emergency service at allutahplumbing.com. Did you know you can catch the Todd and Erin morning stream any time of the day or night on Facebook, YouTube, and SoundCloud, and GephardtDaily.com?
Did you know you can buy a house with a 600 credit score?
Really?
We have lenders, we have programs, stuff that's come up in the last couple years. 600.
Wouldn't you have to have like 50% down or something, though?
Nope. 3.5%.
Where would you start the process on this?
Well, Fink and McGregor has a website, 4minutemortgage.com. Just go there, fill it out, up and running.
How long until you get back to us?
1 business day. Whole thing takes about a month, start to finish.
Where do you get the down, though, if you're broke?
It can be a gift from family, relative, significant other, even your work.
Gift, huh?
Yeah.
You know what that makes me wish?
What?
Makes me wish I had friends with money.
All right, so this is interesting, and I thought this was kind of cool, except scary, is that Superstorm Sandy went through, and back when, October 2012, and the people who survived that are actually giving out information to the current people who are suffering from Houston and from Irma.
Our neighbors over the fence,
California.
Actually, our neighbors over the fence in our neighborhood actually came from New Jersey. They had just barely renovated their house there, just barely. And Sandy came through literally a week later and completely wiped it out.
In New Jersey?
Remember that?
Oh, yeah, that's right.
And completely wiped it out. And I'm like, so that's why you moved here? She went, yeah, because there was nothing left to go home.
So there's usually in a family, hopefully, there's one person who just, and I think that's me, just deals with what's going on and just focuses on making things, fix them.
Let's find some water.
And then,
let's patch that hole in the roof.
Everyone else freaks out, and your job is to stay on task and do your job. This is for them because the survivors of Superstorm Sandy actually started giving information to the other people who are suffering that currently. And unfortunately, here is
Well, because
the
that's
sad
the deal.
news.
Because the first thing is you're so overwhelmed, you need the help. My suggestion to anyone that was flooded or will be flooded, put on your big girl pants because it's going to be a long, bumpy ride. This is from Diane from New Jersey. She's still waiting for full reimbursement for the damage of her 1,400 square foot house nearly 5 years ago from Sandy. She says you have to do immediate proof of what was lost to get your paperwork in order. You'll be undercut by FEMA. You're going to be shorted. You're going to have to file a lawsuit like most of us did here. His home suffered major damage. This is Philip Todd Numfro. He says, organize your receipts because you're going to have to go through a quagmire of government bureaucracy. And then interestingly, they said there's a lot of really sleazy fly-by-night contractors that will race in. I mean, they'll fly in from around the world and go, oh, I'm here. I can put everything back together for you. They take your deposit and they leave.
And then they leave.
So
I thought that was interesting that they're giving that kind of stuff. Because the quicker your stuff can be processed, when you have all your information, ducks in a row, it actually helps them speed it up. But even then, they have advocacy groups of lawyers who stack up and help people to be their advisors to get this stuff done and not get shortchanged.
yeah, this isn't a criticism to FEMA because I actually think they've done a great job in these last few emergencies.
Well, they learned a lot.
But the trouble is they
Katrina.
will. They said that all the homeowners said the same thing. That they said this is all of our damage, and they went, oh, it wasn't that bad. And
Pictures.
then they, yeah, exactly. And so they would undercut them. So they would still end up having to file a lawsuit just to get their home repaired. So
And pictures before the storm.
Pictures,
Pictures
yeah.
before the storm of all your things, which they say all of us should do anyway.
Hi, Ann. How are you? Yeah, Ann, of course, is another one of our friends down in Florida right now, and I was just checking with her to see how she was doing, and she said the power's back up. She said cell service is spotty, and then I was like, I guess you don't want to hear about Hurricane Maria then.
What, don't warn her? That is mean.
No, believe me, I'm
Try
sure
a
they're
note-
getting.
Try a note to a pigeon.
I'm
and
sure
send
they're
it's on
getting.
its way.
Everybody's getting warnings. It's like, what do you want to be reminded of at this point before you kill yourself?
All right, information time.
All right, let's go to Daisy. She's in the Gephardt Daily Newsroom. She is brought to you by Fink and McGregor. If you go to fink-mcgregor.com, you'll find out just how simple mortgages can be because they have a mile of different options and they can call you back within one business day. Also by Black Diamond Experts. These experts are the experts in electric, plumbing, heating, and air, and they have a brand new office in Ogden. You can go to blackdiamondexpert.com. My dear Daisy, what is going on?
Hello again, everyone. Here's a look at national and world news for Tuesday, September 19th on GephartDaily.com. Hurricane Maria is the real deal. The Category 5 hurricane clobbered the tiny island nation of Dominica Monday, and now it's heading towards Puerto Rico. If it makes landfall there, it'll be the first Category 5 hurricane to hit the country since 1928. Forecasters say the storm is currently heading along the same path as Hurricane Irma, but computer models show it may be heading back into the Atlantic by week's end. Violence erupted last night on the campus of the Georgia Institute of Technology in Atlanta. Protesters clashed with campus police after attending a vigil for a student who was killed last weekend in a confrontation with police. The student died Sunday after he reportedly called police on himself, informing 911 of a white man with blonde hair holding a knife and possibly armed with a gun. Police arrived on the scene and attempted to get Schultz to drop his knife, but he refused. After Schultz was shot, the knife turned out to be a flip-open multi-tool with a small blade. And the Trump administration is sending more troops to Afghanistan. 3,000 fresh soldiers, about half of them from the 82nd Airborne Division, will soon be deploying as part of a new White House strategy to fight the Taliban. The additional 3,000 troops will bring the U.S. total to about 14,000. The U.S. has been fighting in Afghanistan since 2001. That's it for now. For more headlines from across the country and around the world, go to GephartDaily.com. And for now, Todd and Erin, back to you.
All right, Black Diamond Experts. Now, these are your experts in electric, plumbing, heating, and air. They opened a brand new office in Ogden, which makes me happy because whenever I get calls from people in Weber County, I'm like, I don't have anyone up there. Because you know how that is. Your friends will call you and go, do you have someone you like? Do you have somebody you trust who can come and do this stuff in my house? Because you know how it is. When you've got someone who's going to come into your home, you want to know that they're licensed and bonded and insured. You want to know that they're going to treat your stuff well, that you're comfortable having them in the house with your kids. And that's what Black Diamond is known for. I mean, they're just good at this stuff. And the nice thing about being an expert is literally there's nothing in your house they can't fix. I had a couple of people call me just because they realized they tried to turn their furnaces on for the first time and there was more like a instead of an actual thing of heat coming out of the registers, which I think is important with the furnace. So it was nice to be able to give them somewhere to go, because you always want to have somebody you can trust. And the nice thing about these guys is when they give you a bid for a job, the job's going to be done to your satisfaction. You're going to be happy. They're going to be happy. Everybody's happy. And you will pay what the bid was. There won't be any sneaky charges. You'll do exactly what they said. So that's the part I've always liked the best, because how many times have you gotten a bill and went, oh, surprise? Yeah, go to blackdiamondexpert.com if you want more information. You'll be glad you called an expert.
Now, I got to tell you, there's one thing about Utah, besides everybody plays a musical instrument and sings, which is we like helping. As a matter of fact, it can get dangerous because, like, if you have a flat tire, you will be gang saved. It'll look like a NASCAR pit crew, and I've seen this on the freeway where like 3 people pull over, and you're like, okay, and everybody's thankful for that. But
now, we've always had,
it's in us, and we have to.
We've had the highest volunteerism rate for I think like well over a decade. I'm not sure if the poll came out again this year yet, but that's consistently what we do. And there's a group of LDS people who are down in Florida right now cleaning up after Hurricane Irma. And I was kind of interested in this because Henry Erying, he's a member of the First Presidency. He's 84 years old. And he flew down there, and this is a guy relatively somewhat fragile health. They slapped a yellow vest on him. He started walking around talking to people, passing out supplies. If you take a look there, you can see it's still raining. But it was really sweet. I mean, I just love the fact that they've all been down there and they're all happy and they're carrying stuff and they're clearing stuff up. And one lady said that she was an older woman and she was trying to do repairs around her house, and she said, I could only work for a little bit in the morning and a little bit in the evening. The heat right now is unimaginable.
Right.
And nobody has air conditioning right now. So she said that this group of volunteers came in and they literally fixed her entire house within one afternoon. And
they said it took them like an hour.
Yeah, it was amazing.
For her, it was going to be like a week and a half worth of labor.
Exactly. So I just thought it was cool that he went down from the First Presidency to check everything out and say hi.
You know, it's so consistent too. I think every hurricane, there's one person standing up doing this. People go, what are you doing? I go, I'm waiting for the church. They always have the best donuts, and they got these potatoes that'll just,
Well, don't you remember when we were down during all those Class 5 tornadoes down in Oklahoma? And they had pulled in Mormon missionaries from like 8 states. So there's all these nice like 19-year-old boys walking around in their yellow vests and like lifting heavy stuff and stepping on nails. They were adorable.
Stepping on nails.
There was a lot of nail stepping.
That's actually so true.
That was true.
Coming up next, Bill Gates is going to scare the buggers out of you.
We're all going to die.
If you have boogers, prepare to be scared out of view.
Them.
Next.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
We're brought to you this morning by Executive Transportation. Elegant service, professional style. Go to executiveutah.com. And All Utah Plumbing. Your home deserves the best. 24-hour emergency service at allutahplumbing.com. Did you know you can catch the Todd and Erin morning stream any time of the day or night on Facebook, YouTube, and SoundCloud, and GephardtDaily.com?
If my honey ever came across the table like that,
I thought it was kind of cute. It was like,
freak out.
I loved it.
Let's talk about what Bill Gates is known for, obviously.
Incredible things. The Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation and how they're working to end malaria. Because
he's part of the millionaire club, billionaire club.
Quadrillion, bazillionaire.
They say that they should, and they're going to, when they die, they want to be penniless because they want to be giving this stuff out. They have been known for malaria, helping with that. Cholera, drinking water around the world, third world nations.
And he's the one who funds those $1 million prizes for people to come up with a mosquito netting kit that we could do for like 50 cents and distribute to entire villages.
Water purification thing made out of a 5-gallon bucket.
How to receive radio frequency in remote villages, all kinds of different fascinating things. And the kids have had. They've had these really brilliant college kids come up with solutions that even expensive pharmaceutical companies couldn't manage.
Right, and so that's what they have going. And usually it's just really positive.
Inspiring,
forward-moving and forward-thinking. If you got buggers, you're not going to have them when I'm finished talking about this because he's going to scare them out of you. This is basically what he said, is that like in hurricanes and other natural disasters, when they ravage the world, The threat of nuclear war is looming. It always has been since, long ago.
Atomic clock.
But Bill Gates has assessed the risks of humanity, and they're really the scariest right now, not because of any of those things, but because of infectious diseases.
That's inspiring.
Now, I'm not sure if you remember, you don't, 1918, that's in 1918. There was a plague.
There was a massive plague that swept across North America, including
influenza.
And it was
Check it.
It was ridiculous. You're thinking, oh, it couldn't be that bad. No, this almost tipped the scale on population in several countries.
30 million people were taken by the flu.
30 million.
30 million.
Flu.
And so he keeps getting more grim.
Does he say which one's in particular is going to spread across the world and kill us all?
I'll give you the timeline coming up next.
Really?
He said. The pandemic in 1918 killed 50 million.
50 million. Oh, is that all?
Yeah.
Okay.
And they're expecting this to happen again. And bioterrorism could be. It could be a pathogen. It could be a natural occurring thing. And Bill Gates, who's a kind of a smart guy, says this will happen. Guess how many? Within how many years?
Within?
Yeah.
I'm hoping 60 or 70, so I'm dead and I won't notice.
Right. No.
What?
10 to 15.
He really thinks it's going to happen within the next 10 to
He
15?
said that is the biggest challenge, the biggest threat to the world right now is if one of these gets loose, and not necessarily man-made, but that's in the category, or a natural occurring thing that we don't get a handle on fast enough.
Well, that's depressing.
Happy Tuesday. There's free corn today.
Well, that's inspiring.
Sorry, I just can't help myself.
All right, let's go back to something happier. Tell me this is not every millennial's dream. University of Utah, my alma mater, I love them oh so much. They're holding tryouts to select 35 students who receive partial scholarships for the school's new video game team. They are the first varsity team at a major athletics conference. Now, AJ Dimick's director of the operations for the team says students chosen during the tryouts get money every semester. They compete in 4 games: Overwatch, Hearthstone, League of Legends, and Rocket League. And they compete in similar competitions that a club level team would play in the past. Like, it's a Pac-12 conference. I mean, it's on TV. It's got its own network. And they said they want to drive the sports growth at the collegiate level, and that offers a template for other colleges around the state
These are the
to get
people
involved.
you didn't think were going to go to college because they're stuck in their mom's basement.
This is a major athletics conference. That is how it is. That is how it's determined. That's how it's
Now,
labeled.
before we criticize,
I'm not criticizing. I think it's
I am.
epic. Are you kidding?
there are scholarships for playing tuba. My friend got a Juilliard, and he plays with the Boston Pops and has been for 25 years. Also, there is badminton, bowling, all these different sports that aren't televised and stuff, but the school they represent the school in all the things, in all the competitions. But video games, because we have a lot of developers of video games here in Utah. There's been a lot of kids who are like in high school, and they pay them a good amount of money per hour to come in and try the games, the beta versions, and see where it hangs up for them.
Talk about a dream come true gig.
Right.
Well, no, but think about it. For our kids, I would 100% rather have them go into collegiate level video game playing than, like, for instance, football. I mean, with all the new stuff we've heard about head injuries, I mean,
Playing video games, you don't think you're going to have a head injury?
no, you're going to get carpal tunnel, syndrome from that. But nah, you're not going to get a head injury. You're not going to be clanking into anybody else. I would totally rather have Zach and Zoe do that.
One of the qualifications is 2 of them, actually, you have to love Cheetos and wear pants. So there you go for your...
That's a lot of requirements for some kids. You know that, right?
Here's a question for you.
All right, you have to explain this.
Here's a question for you. And I just did a birthday party. I took Zoe to a birthday party. So you go to a birthday party in Phoenix, and, the kids are running around and stuff, and what do you do at that point? No, you watch your kids, and you're happy. Maybe you have a beverage, and maybe some cake and ice cream, and you're sitting and watching the kids. You're sitting at a table, picnic table with your friends, and then all of a sudden one of the kids screams, and he goes, "There's a rattlesnake in the yard." So, what do? Well, this one...
Ideally put the children in the house away from the rattlesnake. That would be...
I want to point out this guy's 48 years old. What he does is he jumps to his feet, and he runs over, and he grabs the snake.
This is Victor Pratt, and it's his kids' party, right?
This could be a brave move of a dad saving kids, which if you ended the story there, you would think, there is the dad of the year.
Threw himself upon the snake to save his babies. Beautiful.
It's not over. So he decides that he's just goofing around with a snake at this point. So he decides he's going to teach everybody how to eat rattlesnakes. So he walks over to the grill and throws the snake on the grill.
What a jerk! He was going to cook it alive? What a horrible man.
Still sort of the father of the year.
No.
48 years old.
We're drifting off now. No.
There should be some education in your brain. He takes it off the grill and goes to take a bite out of it, and the snake isn't dead and bites him in the face.
Good. Good for the snake.
Is that because you're, like, protecting the snake?
Well, I'm sorry. He lost me the minute he became mean and was like, I'm going to cook this poor snake alive. And really, if that is not a hey, y'all, watch this moment, I mean...
Hold my beer.
I mean, seriously, right? I mean, and believe me, I have a healthy fear of rattlesnakes because I go running up in the foothills, and I almost stepped on one the other day and called you screaming and doing my Nelly dance up and down, and the snake wasn't real thrilled about it either. But you totally deserve to get bit in the face, Victor.
Now, if he had killed it, barbecued it, I'd be okay.
He cooked a snake alive. That's a horrible thing to do.
I said if he killed it and then grilled it.
Okay, properly.
Yeah, and then ate it. Like a survival lesson, probably not in front of kids though. That's not good. He got bit in the face and the chest. He was then taken to a hospital. 28 doses of antivenom later, they ran out and they had to transport him to another hospital as opposed to bringing the drug to him. They threw him in a wagon, maybe just to show him off to other people what an idiot he was. And he said, I knew something had gone wrong when he was bit in the face.
Really? Now, I would like to point out one
thing. Give me my beer back.
Okay, here's where he gets the Half Father of the Year award, because unintentionally or not, he has now taught his children a healthy respect for a rattlesnake.
This is a good thing.
That you can even try to cook a rattlesnake alive, and it will still bite you in the face.
Right, it's karma.
So at least his kids are going, it's too bad Dad's on his third trip to the hospital, but on the bright side, we now have a healthy respect for rattlesnakes.
Did you remember when the reports of aliens came out at about 8 o'clock on Saturday afternoon? It was over the Rice-Eccles stadiums. During
Scary
the running
blue
utes,
lights.
The running utes were taking on, I forget who they're taking on, but they beat the crap out of them. And all of a sudden, everybody's got video cams, right? And they shoot up and they show these blue lights coming down.
And they were separating and being eerie.
And they were like, "Ooh, what was it?" And everyone said, "Well, maybe it was a satellite," and everybody came up with a maybe. We talked about it yesterday. Actually, it was the leapfrog. They are the Navy SEAL divers. The cool thing about
the
this,
leapfrogs, yeah.
we're gonna show you this, but the neat thing is like it's at night. And wait till you see how bright the stadium is, and they land in.
And you have to pinpoint your landing in the middle of the green. I mean,
this is great. So you guys enjoy. It's the Todd and Erin morning stream on GetPartDaily.com. We'll see you tomorrow. Let them jump. Bye.